Hi guys, this is Hemant Kumar Dange from Prwatech. So today's topic is Graphx. So in Graphx we will learn that how to process a simple example through Graphx and what is actually concepts of Spark Graphx. So basically Graphx is a distributed graph analytics framework. Basically, it is a library, a Spark library that is extend the large scale graph processing. We know the simple graphs about the simple graphs that have the vertex and edges. But in this, there is a similar concept, but having the more property graph that is having the different attributes. Vertex and edge having the attributes, corresponding attributes, and there is relations between two vertex through the edge. Suppose there is A and B, and A no B from 7 years. So there is a normal graph between them. In this property graph, you can see there is 2 and 5. 5 is Franklin, 2 is Isotoka. Isotoka is professor, and 5 Franklin is also processor, but the relation between them, they are colleague. So there is a simple difference. There is define that particular relation. Suppose uh, vertex 2 known 5 from the 7 years. So instead of colleague there would be 7. The word as property or attributes. So this Graphx provides the both fundamental graphs operator and avoidance operator implements graph algorithms such as a page rank. You know the system of Google page rank page that is totally based on these concepts. Graphx. Facebook, we can say if A no B, B no C, so there will be probability that A would know the C, and C will recommend C will automatically get the recommendation of A. That do you know A? That's simple. So vertex ID. What is vertex RDD? Vertex RDD represent a distributed collection of vertex in property graph. Basically, simple vertex is normal A, B, or 1, 2, 3, and it can be simple vertex. Like in this graph, there is 3 and 5 or the simple vertex. But vertex RDD that having the property, suppose 3 having the both property RxIn and students, name and designation. So this is the basically concepts for this. Now, what is age RDD? Age RDD also same. In age RDD, there is having property also attribute same as vertex. There is advisor. This is the age property advisor. So there is the simple concept. You can see in vertexes there is vertex with the property, age with the property or attributes. Now, what is triplet? Triplet is a combination. You can say it's a combination of two vertices and one property is. Suppose we can see here there's two vertices. Suppose A is Ram and B is Shyam. A's salary is 30,000 of Ram, 40,000 of Shyam. Now, what is the relation between them? They know each other through the 7 years. From the 7 years, they know each other. So that would be the property of age. Now there is a simple example you will see to how to process the Graphx. So there is a similar concept that we read in streaming. We have to make these src main Scala directories, and after that in Scala directory we will make a program. So there is a simple program you have to use in Scala directory. You have to make this program Graphx example.scala. Okay, now in this example, there is first thing you import the libraries of Graphx. Simple. RDD concept, it will use the RDD concept and Spark context and conf. Now there is a simple similar syntax of that is we used everywhere. Now how we can define a vertex and what is the value of vertex and what is the value of is. So here we will define a vertex array. In array there would be the several value are there. Suppose on the one ID, name and age. ID is 1L, L is name, 20 year, 28 is similar, 2L Bob, 3L Charlie, 4L David, 5L Ed, friend. Now in age there is a similar concept. There is ID number that in diagrams we can see easily that the relation between A and B defined through the tag directed graph, that is would be acyclic graph. Now in coding language there is defined that 2L means Bob, 1L means Alice. Now Bob is known to Alice through the 7 years. So that is the concept. So now with the same directed we are written in coding language. Now this Spark context we are using here normal VLSC new Spark contents set name graph example as the class name Scala. There is this by default syntax for the vertex RDD. In vertex RDD, long is the data type that we are using along 4L, 5L, anything. String is name and int is age. So we are defining vertex RDD as this syntax. After that, in this syntax, we will fix the vertex array that we defined above. Now the same concept is well as RDD. In RDD, we will just define the int, the relations 7, 2, 4 like this. So now in this we define the edge array. We'll put up in this edge array the value of edge array. We write there. So now the graph is a combination. We earlier discussed about this. Graph is a concept of combinations of vertex and edge. So there is graph that is made by the vertex and edge. You can see here. Now we are defining the two queries here normal. The first query is to show the all persons with their names and IDs. So in this there would be the by default syntax for that graph vertex filter. Now we have to just change the case, that what case we are using here. The syntax of this graph.vertices.filter would remain the same, but the case file will be changed in the different scenarios. Like in these scenarios we are using this ID name age. Now age is greater than 30, so greater than 30 will appear in this query. Okay, now in second query we are using the for loop. There is same triplet concept we are using here, and the concept is graph triplet filter. Now in attributes we are defining the particular relations between the two graphs, that which is love which. Suppose there is two vertices are there, source vertices and destination vertices, source attributes and destination attributes. So in triplet we are defining the particular, we are taking the particular triplet. Now we are using this. So that is the code. For this code I made this program in Scala. So I made this build.sbt file. So in sbt file there is class name, version, that which sbt version you are currently using, Scala version, which version you are using, and the Spark core 1.5.2 version I'm currently using. So in this file I written this. Now just let's Prwatech. Now if you see in this directory I made src folder only. This project and target folder will automatically appear after spt package when we do on the terminal spt package. I am just created here src. In src main, in main Scala, and there is our program graph example.scala. So now after this I define the build.sbt file. Now in this machine I'm currently using 2.2 version, so instead of 1.5.2 version I'm using here 2.2.0 version. So that's why I changed the value. The Scala version is remain the same. Now we have seen the whole files here. Now on the terminal you have to go into Graphx. We are already here. Just do spt eclipse. It will compile your code and check the errors, compile time errors, there is syntax right or wrong. So in this syntax we have okay, I do the command spt package, not eclipse. So in spt package you can see the simple compilation is successful. So that is the command spt package, not spt eclipse. So in spt, so the program is compiled successfully. Now we have to execute and see the output. There is the different thing. Now we did spt package successfully. Now there is a command by default, Spark submit class name is graph example. The class we are defining Scala object. In master there is a thread number, local 4 thread we are currently using, and in target file there is automatically by default when we see in the folder target and project. So in target in Scala 2.10 there is a jar file automatically will created. So this jar file we are using to execute the program. So for that we are using the path of this target Scala 2.10 and graph example 2.10.1.jar. So you can see in this, so this is the command and it will show the output on the console. Okay, we have to write the right command here. In Graphx I made already guide, so in guide the same thing you will get. We are using the Spark submit. Our program is running. You will get the output. First we are check the query, first query. In first query you can see the show all the details. David is 42, the details is greater than 30. David is 42, Ed is 55, Fran is 50, Charlie is 65. So now the second query was the show connections all. Now this connection will you get show here. Bob love Alice. We are defining the program that according to condition which is love to which. So Ed loves Charlie. So that is the second query. So that's our output, and for the more detail and more queries you can go on the support at the rate Prwatech. Connect with us through the support at the rate Prwatech.in, and you can ping on the Skype through Prwatech, and you can contact with us this using this contact. So goodbye, we'll meet the next session. I hope you enjoy. So goodbye guys.